Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new crypto update. Long time no see, but we had insane gains. We're going to speak about all of our profitable trades from the last couple of weeks, new entries for the market, what the hell is happening in crypto in general. Everyone is a little bit confused since we just had a government shutdown in the US. All the market data is delayed. Dixie is just going up, the dollar index, which actually it shouldn't do. And let's start right away with the most important thing, and that's a Dixie always, right? And most crypto traders don't think about that, but we obviously do because we are smart traders. Now, first of all, Dixie is currently going up insanely strong, which it actually shouldn't do because we have a government meltdown in the US. All the data is late, right? And as you can see, Dixie is just trending and trending, trending. And the thing is that if Dixie goes up, crypto goes down, and that's what we're seeing in the last couple of days. Before that, we had a breakout of this range when we had the rate cuts coming out, right? So when the rate cuts came out, Dixie went down, and now it's going up a lot again. But we're soon to finish a C target, also bouncing off probably EMA 200, and then probably we're going to see crypto going up again a lot. So we're going to be a little bit more bullish, especially now it's October, right? October is a historical positive month, September a negative month, and we saw that. But the last couple of days, crypto has been pumping pretty well from end of September entering October now, and the last couple of days especially, right? But that's when it comes to Dixie, right? Dixie we need to obviously always look at, because just simple rule for crypto is that if Dixie goes up, crypto goes down, and if Dixie goes down, then crypto goes up, right? And that's what we're going to see here in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be very interesting for us. If we go into the total market cap for crypto right now, and sorry guys, my trading view is a little bit slow today. I don't know what's happened. Already restarted the computer and the browser and everything, but it's lagging a little bit. I don't know why. But especially what you're going to see here in the total market cap is basically a sideways trend, right? We are basically pretty much sideways from a high going down, new high going down, not a new high. Now we finally got a new high, so that's very positive. So you're seeing that total market cap is in general increasing, which basically means more money and more volume is coming into the market, right? Right now we are a little bit on this brink here where we're gonna come down a little bit, but I think we're gonna move in range, maybe find like positive movement here in the 50% correction, and from there on just continue to go up, because we still have open targets at 5.6 trillion. So still a lot of volume to go, another 1 trillion into another 1.6 trillion into the market, right? So this market is going to continue to pump for sure in October and November, and then let's see how December is. But again, historically, October, November, very strong month. Okay, if we go into the BTC dominance, you're going to see BTC dominance is getting lower, and was getting lower strongly over the last couple of weeks. From here, we started to have a little bit of a bottom, go a little bit higher. But yeah, basically now BTC dominance is a little bit more interesting again. So that means more money is going into BTC. And then if we go into Ethereum dominance already hit C target, as you can see from C target, since Elliott waves and Fibonacci extensions tells us most likely where price is going to go. We are now in a little bit of a correction phase, right? So probably Ethereum is going to continue to not be targeted that much and not so focused on. So not really interested in Ethereum right now. There's many other coins that we're going to speak about, right? Then again, USDT dominance, you're going to see today it went up a little bit. That's because obviously Dixie is going up, and then the market in general is correcting a little bit. But USDT dominance overall, come on TradingView, USDT dominance overall was going down over the last couple of weeks strongly, right? We have a little bit of a downtrend over here, which is very good. That means, right, more money is going into the markets. And now USDT dominance is continuously going lower again, and probably going to also see a reverse over here, and then it really go lower, which is good, because again, if USDT dominance goes lower, that means people are transacting money from USDT into the market. So that's a very good marker for us to see. Okay, let's speak about the big boy. Last time we did an update, we called an entry at 2 key levels that you should look out for, and key level 1 worked perfectly fine, as you can see here. We are nearly about to hit take profit. Not far away from that. As you guys remember, we marked out key level number 1 and key level number 2. So key level number 1 was the first entry, key level number 2 was the second entry. The first entry perfectly worked, and we are currently up from the 50%, currently up 10%, and highest was 13%. So pretty clean trade. I mean, if you want to take profits, I already took profits. We nearly reached take profit. I'm not gonna, waste another correction and losing money on that, but I'm gonna take some money out. So again, very, very clean trade. Just gonna adjust it to how it actually was, okay, and how we actually traded it. But that's actually at the end of the day the interesting level over here and how we took this trade, okay? And it looks pretty clean, so I'm very happy with that, and hopefully you guys too, right? So from now, BTC is hitting nearly 127k. We are at 126.9, which is again our C target since a very long time. I truly believe we're gonna have an overextension until the end of the year, so probably gonna go to like 140, 135, maybe even 160, but not much more than that, because now BTC, and I don't see anyone talking about that, is in a very interesting phase, because the BTC, Bitcoin in general, is still considered a cryptocurrency, right? But if they rule it as an asset, then I think Bitcoin is going to tank heavy and we're going to see a lot of downturn. But that really depends on the future regulation on BTC. So far, it's still a cryptocurrency, regulated as a cryptocurrency. But with everything that happened with what Trump is doing, with the Genius Act, and the currency reserve and all of these kind of things, we need to see where BTC is going. I truly believe it's going to continue to be ruled as a cryptocurrency, so therefore we're going to see higher prices, but that's definitely something we need to take into consideration into the future in our BTC holdings. How is going to be the future regulation on BTC? Okay, let's speak about Ethereum. Ethereum at the end of the day is definitely going down. I mean, you just saw it in the Ethereum dominance. We are definitely in a strong downtrend. We are going sideways with lower lows and lower highs too, right? And we are in C target. So basically, Ethereum finished its sequence in C target. Now it's starting to correct low. And as you can see, last time we spoke about this target here being the foreseeable target for Ethereum, which is $3,178. And from there on, we would basically re-enter and buy, right? Do we look for a sell position right now? We have a sequence over here, but it was broken. So I'm just gonna wait until we get maybe a retest and then would re-enter over here and sell Ethereum off. But so far there's no clear enough structure to do that. So obviously we're not gonna enter if there's not a clear enough structure for us. And therefore we're just gonna leave Ethereum out for now. Okay, let's speak about Solana. And then obviously BNB, which we made insane gains, and I called this trade on these crypto updates. So always make sure to follow, tune in. There's always valuable. I always give trade ideas. I think there was never a session where I didn't give a trade idea that then turned out very profitable. Okay. So Solana, again, bear with me guys, my trading view is a little bit slow. Maybe that's because of the data cut that happened in the sea here in Dubai or UAE. I have a little bit slow internet the last couple of days, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But yeah, so for Solana, we are doing very well, right? We are doing very well. We had good entries, for example, over here in the BC correction level. We had another entry over here. I'm currently not in Solana besides my physical or spot holdings that I have. I don't have any trade positions open in Solana, but Solana is doing pretty well. Right now, there's no re-entry that we can look at. So there's nothing really to do with Solana, because the next re-entry would probably be here if we get one, which is 174, right? So 174 looks pretty interesting for the future, and that's what we could consider as a re-entry over here. We're just gonna put an alarm and just wait until it hits, because we are kind of like in a bearish correction, but probably we're gonna go higher, right? And Solana still has a lot of potential to go at over 425 US dollars per coin. So that's still a pretty big increase of nearly 100% if you would get in after the correction, right? So we're gonna wait for the correction, then increase our holdings in Solana and maybe even open a buy trade. Now let's talk about a big winner that carried a lot of profits the last couple of weeks for me, and hopefully also for you guys if you took the trade and if you have listened to my crypto updates. But BNB perfectly did what it should do, and that's finish C target. And it's beautiful to see how precise our system is, the NXT system with Elliott waves and Fibonacci extensions. You can see beautifully how it went into C target of both sequences, the primary sequence, which is the black one, and then the secondary sequence here, the red one, right? And now we are in C target. We are definitely allowed to sell out of C target, so we're gonna wait for some bearish structure over here. But our entry was at 571. We are now sitting at 13499, so we gained 136% on spot on BNB, which is amazing, right? And again, we called this trade. Here was the entry. right? It was the red sequence and then the BC over here. So very clean. I took all of my profits off the plate. I'm not gonna gamble on higher profits. That's already enough, and just gonna book it as a win and happy about it, and shows us how clean the system works. Okay, so far we're gonna wait for BNB for a re-entry, which probably is not gonna happen right now. I'm pretty sure we're going to continue to go higher, but I'm just going to wait until we see corrections and then maybe future interest in re-entering or whatsoever. But right now, there's nothing really to do. Our XRP trade is still in sell, and we are doing pretty well with that. We started to sell over here in a fair value zone, and then also out of C target, which I just said with BNB. Once we price hit C target, we are allowed to sell out of it, and that's what we did. And we are currently very well in profit. I mean, it's not a lot of percent, but with leverage obviously on our trade, it's pretty good. Okay, so this one is still running since a very long time, still not hitting take profit, but a valuable re-entry where I'm going to continue to open and buy new spot holdings and maybe even a buy trade is sitting here at 2.63 for XRP, right? Once we hit the 50%, also the EMA 200 touch, from here on it's going to be very interesting to re-enter into XRP. Okay, let's talk about some interesting stuff on the side of what I just opened recently. I opened a new trade a couple of days ago, which is Pump Fun. So Pump USDC is a trade that I entered, and this is my first trade, this is my second trade. So right now there is an entry, okay? So you can take this trade if you want. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a professional trader and investor. And if you want to follow my trades, you can do that. And if not, it's all your risk and on your side. But here we have a valuable entry, a valid entry and valuable. So yeah, again, I entered as a trading position and spot position. And the interesting thing is if you go into perps for Hyperliquid, you see there's a lot of activity in Pump. There's many people buying Pump. And then also if you go into the overview of the coin itself and you go into P&L leaderboard, you can see that there's many people buying into and holding. There's a lot of traders in Pump Fund, right, or in Pump. You can see right now we had a big drop off of top 100 addresses. Smart money sold, so everyone sold basically, which is very good. So they took profits, and we are in a buying zone, right? So basically they took profits all alongside here and again over here, and now we are pretty fresh for new volume coming in. So that's a pretty good thing to do and look at. So Pump Fund looks pretty clean in my opinion to go enter and check out. So last 7 days, for example, yeah, there was a lot of volume flushing out. Obviously, we see that in the market. But you can see smart money last 24 hours is starting to buy again. And then consistent per winners is buying again, right? So you can see smart money bought 1.95 billion, right? The top 100 addresses obviously are taking profits, but you can see smart money circling back into it. And that's what we want to see when we trade Pump, right? SPX is something that I always speak about every update. We are up 33%. I mean, now I need to adjust a little bit. We correct a little bit, 20%. But this was an entry we called. Same for Candle. Candle we also called. We are currently up 16%. Highest was 37. Right, so also called this one. And we also called Tick always. And Tick is kind of in our stop loss, right? Which is basically a mental stop loss. I'm not going to get out of here, but there's just volume missing, nothing really happening, right? Just in general, if we go into smart money and we check what smart money wallets are doing, we can see that on the side of the spot, people are very interested in the tokens like Link still, right? Link's still very, very high. I always talk about Link. We made a lot of money with Link. And then obviously we also have over here what is smart money holding. We also have Link, right? Also very interesting. Let's see what else. We're definitely going to have Ondo. There it is, right? Definitely SPX, which we always speak about. So I'm mainly focused on these coins over here. And if we go back into our trading view and we check out Chainlink, where it is, how it's performing. Let's just go over here. Today we had a pretty positive day so far. And right now you can see a bearish structure in Link, which is basically this whole move over here. So, and then over there. Re-entry is going to be here, right, at 19.15. And that's where I'm going to re-enter heavily into Link with spot and trades. So right now I'm just waiting for market to go down there. Doesn't make sense to sell right now, not. But in the future, what I would continue to stack on is Link, Ondo, SPX, right? Pump now as a trade. BTC always, right? XRP once we are in a re-entry, BNB if we get a re-entry, Solana if we get a re-entry, right? We already have positions, but just increasing them, getting them at good prices. And then let's talk about Ondo, which is another one of my favorites, and XLM. So let's just see, where are we with Ondo. Sui, where's Ondo? Ondo, my friend, where are you? Since I have a trade on Ondo, so why is it not showing up? Solana, here it is on my open trades, okay? Okay, so you can see we are in an entry now for Ondo. It's a valid entry over here, right? We already were a little bit in profit. I was entering over here. We were pretty high in profit. Now we came back down. But that's even though luckier for you guys because we have a re-entry in Ondo right now. So it looks pretty good, okay? Same goes for H-bar probably. Let me check out H-bar. H-bar, same thing. Also a valid entry right now. IMX, I called a couple of weeks ago. We are currently 16% in profit. Then we have Casper. Casper right now is a little bit in drawdown, so that's okay. Still valid entry. Ondo we just spoke about. SPX, XRP we also spoke about. So these are the ones that I'm looking at that are very interesting for me. And then let's just speak quickly about, where was it? XLM. Okay, yeah, XLM basically, since we entered, I'm still waiting for the entry. As you can see here, we did not enter yet. But so far, it's I'm not going to wait for this re-entry because we're seeing a lot of bullish power over here. So we actually had a very good entry over here, but we did not enter, which is completely okay. And we still have to see, right? But again, if it comes back down here to 0.363, there is a valid entry for our friend XLM. And that's another coin that I'm very much looking into. So basically all of the coins over here: BNB, BTC, Ethereum, Link, Litecoin, Render, Solana, Sui, Tick, Ton, VET, XLM, Monero, basically XMR. Let's check what XMR is doing. A lot of volume missing, but fundamentally a very strong coin. Oh shit, I'm in profit, okay. It's definitely a trade that I've opened, and we are currently pretty well in profit, which is clean, 30%, okay. Also entered over here. So nice trade and grateful for it, okay? Another thing to keep an eye open is always Coinbase as a stock, even though we speak mainly about crypto, but it's a stock that basically runs with crypto. And as you can see, since we are up 26%, very clean trade, 27%, re-entered over here, missed it by a little bit and then entered, and currently up 27%. So keep an eye on Coinbase if it gives you a re-entry at 294 point. Very, very interesting position and performs very, very well. I mean, you can see I started initially to buy Coinbase at $72. We are sitting at 444. It's a good couple of X, right? But yeah, with that being said, in general, I truly believe we're going to see some higher prices in crypto, especially for BTC, like breaking the 127K and going to 130, 135 by the end of the year. And then next year we need to see, and then there's some good plays with HBAR, IMX, Casper, Ondo, SPX, XRP, Monero, XLM, and so on for the future, okay? With that being said, guys, make sure to follow and like, make sure to ask your questions in the comments below. I'm always answering them, and go back into some videos to see the validity, to see how valid my trade ideas are, because they're just all performing amazing. And I mean, catching 136% in September is a crazy move, guys. It's a very crazy move, okay? And don't forget this trade over here, pump as a new trade, okay? See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.